Hi folks, great to be talking to you at the African Bird Fair virtually. Mark's asked me to give this presentation on my artwork, my bird artwork. Delighted to do that. Got very fond memories of being at the Bird Fair with you guys, having a stand there in that lovely weather. Wish I was there now. No doubt we all wish we were there now, but we're doing things virtually. And strange times indeed. I hope you've all been well during lockdown. Lockdown here in Pembrokeshire in Wales, where I've been for the last 20 years. Not too bad. And we've got a beautiful coastline. I've been out doing some painting, and we've seen it as it was sort of 50 years ago without people, which was extraordinary. But I'm doing mostly mapping at the moment, trying to get back to painting. But great to talk to you today about my illustration career as such. It's all started with this book, magnificent book by Valerie Gargett on the Black Eagle. Her study of 60 pairs spanning 30-40 years was really extraordinary, and I was lucky to be asked to do the illustrations, pen and ink and pencil for the different chapters, along with Graham Arnott's beautiful paintings. And it was great to work with Graham and Eleanor Mary and the other people that were involved in this book. And that was when I was in the Karoo studying the Black Eagles. I've been doing quite a bit of artwork in the Karoo over the years. I've got quite a collection of paintings which will be on the website. I've been involved in various books since then, but this is the one I'm really talking to you about today, African Raptors by Bill Clark and me. And Bill approached me to do this book 30 years ago, I think it was, nearly 30 years ago. Any of you who are thinking of embarking on such a project, don't. It's a lot of work. 52 colour plates, each one took about 6 weeks of my time, but that's in between other jobs and stuff that I was doing, hence it's taken a while, but hopefully worth the wait. And it's available now from Bloomsbury, and I guess, Mark, you've asked me to say a bit about how I did each plate. So it's been a great project to work on with Bill. Bill is a real perfectionist. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Bill even more so. And at the beginning of the project, it took us up to a week to agree on certain things, like whether a marshal flies with square wings or pointed wings. And eventually we agreed that when the bird's coming towards you and the primary is displaying, it's got a square wing profile. When it's flying away from you and you're looking from below, the wings are very pointed. So I think it's because of all these deliberations really that we've got a good product at the end of the day. But I realized quickly that I had to get everything right in terms of shapes and proportions early on in each plate's development. So what I did is I did the early work in black and white in pen and ink, scanned it, put together a composition that was pleasing on the computer, and then sent this across to Bill. I think we're using fax at one stage, but no, a lot more electronic since then. So Bill would come back with feedback on feathers, on the positions that we chose to illustrate the different characters, and on the shapes and proportions. So I was able to get that right before I went on to the painting stage. Going on to the painting stage, I'll transfer this, trace it in pencil on a light box onto really nice watercolour paper, and then I would soak that for a couple of hours, and I would stretch it on a board like this, where you hammer in these rubber holders around the edges, let it dry, and it provides you with a surface that's really nice to apply paint to, that takes a lot of detail and a lot of work. So that was the process, and the end result are all these plates in the book. This one is black harriers, African marsh harriers, And what I did is I first of all signed the work, so I didn't make any accidents with that at the end. And then I did the habitats of the birds, and to me the habitats of the birds are very important because they tell you where to expect them, really. And it's the loss of these habitats that is affecting these birds so much across Africa. So we started an ancillary project called the African Raptor Data Bank, gathering data on where we were seeing these birds and modelling these environments to see how much space the birds have got left. The Peregrine Fund really liked that project. They came on board and they funded the development of a free mobile app. It's called the Global Raptor Impact Network. You can get it on Apple or on Android, and please do, because it's very easy to use and you can contribute data to understanding how much space these birds have got left. But really in the book I spend a lot of time concentrating on these habitats, and the book includes some of my favourite places in Africa, many of which you will know too. So with the harriers, we've got the African Marsh Harrier in Nailsflay, also the Luwa Plains National Park in Zambia, and the Black Harrier in the Drakensberg and the Karoo. Here we've got the pale chanting goshawks shown against Kalahari, of course, and in northeast Africa against the beautiful Ololokwe Mountain in northern Kenya. That's the eastern pale chanting goshawk. We spent a lot of time on the different morphs, the different plumage types that you get of each of these raptors, making things more complicated. This is a plate showing all the dark morph accipiters or hawks. We've got Gable goshawk, Avambo sparrowhawk, African goshawk and black sparrowhawk, all in their dark plumages on that plate, just to show you the subtle differences to look out for when you see a black hawk like that. I ought to say it was a great pleasure working with Bill, and the highlights really were the trips that we did. We did an early field trip to Kenya, and I've got great memories of sitting on the top of a hotel at Kisumu, looking out over the Lake Victoria and waiting to see my first African hobby, which was a great joy. Wonderful bird. We went up into the Cherangani Hills, where one of the last places they've seen bearded vultures in Kenya, and there we found the mountain buzzard. So I've shown that in this wonderful habitat, and the closely related forest buzzard, which we'll know in southern Africa more, Eastern Cape forests. It was a challenge with some of these birds because they were not very well known. Cassin's hawk eagle, for instance, on this plate, there were no photographs of Cassin's hawk eagle, only museum specimens when we started the project. And I had to use a certain amount of imagination to get that one right. As the photos have come out with digital photography, I've been able to check them, and happily they look as they should. Congo serpent eagle. So these plates, about half of them are still available, the original plates. They're all in our gallery, which is www.rookwoodstudios.com. Please have a look at it, see if there's anything you like. Don't be put off by the prices. Feel free to haggle with me, because I do want to make sure they end up in the places where they're appreciated the most. More affordable, we've got every plate available as a print. We've got high quality printing here with the mapping business, so we can produce these. This is the Black Eagle, my favourite. And we've got a lot of other artists, some stunning work by Lizzie Waterhouse, for instance, who does these extraordinary celebrations of birds in pen and ink. And we're also providing different collections now of the artwork. And I'm getting back to a book which has even a longer gestation period than my African Raptor book, and that's the Karoo book. So scanning all the artwork for the Karoo book, and that's all available through the website too. So yeah, please have a look, have a visit, and have a great fair.